Jorge Masvidal has responded to Leon Edwards' stipulations for a title shot. Edwards and the Street Judas have had bad blood for years, stemming from their post-UFC London backstage brawl in 2019. The two were scheduled to meet in the octagon at UFC 269 before Street Judas' injury canceled the fight. In a recent tweet, Edwards gave the Street Judas an idea of what it would take for him to consider giving him the next title shot. Soon after, Edwards laid out his degrading title shot stipulation before Jorge Gamebred would take to Twitter to issue his response. "I've never gotten on my knees and begged anyone for anything. If your lifestyle is to get on your knees for stuff that's on you, I'm not judging. Accept the fight, get this payday, get your rematch, and get your face broken at the same time. It's a no-brainer, dummy. #I told you." Michael Bisping feels like a win for Charles Oliveira against Islam Makhachev would make him the lightweight GOAT. In the eyes of many fans, Khabib Nurmagomedov is the greatest lightweight of all time. However, Bisping made the case in a video he recently uploaded to YouTube that if Charles Oliveira can beat Islam Makhachev at UFC 280, he will surpass the Eagle in lightweight GOAT status.
Lion's the greatest lightweight of all time though. I think if Charles beats Islam this weekend, I think that belongs to Charles now. Really do. I really do. I think he will have surpassed him simply because he's taking out all the top contenders, and it's not Khabib's fault. I talked about that earlier. But you cannot deny the numbers, the momentum, the history that Oliveira's making.
The point that Bisping makes is that while it is impossible to completely excuse past Oliveira losses, they were at a different weight class, and they were a long time ago. So he feels like if Oliveira can beat Makhachev, surpassing Khabib's total number of title defenses, he would become the greatest lightweight of all time. Do you think a win at UFC 280 would make Charles Oliveira the lightweight GOAT? Let us know your opinion in the comments. Islam Makhachev mocks Daniel Cormier's WWE cameo by calling him a fat guy. While doing media ahead of his UFC 280 lightweight title fight with Charles Oliveira, Islam was doing an interview with Shaq MMA when the subject came up of Cormier's most recent trial run as a referee in the WWE. Here he absolutely roasted DC, mocking him for the way he looked in the trademark referee outfit.
Look at this fat guy. He cannot complete anymore. He is a referee right now. He's a smart guy, you know. He don't have to be good shape to come back. He just want to be referee, do some easy stuff, you know. He don't wanna like no more cut. He want to eat all day, burgers, chips, and this guy's so smart.
These were some hilarious comments from Islam Makhachev, and they clearly come from a place of caring about Daniel Cormier. Time will tell if he is able to capture UFC gold, but even if that is not the case, we can surely expect some more comedic gold between these two in the future. UFC heavyweight pioneer Mark Coleman has finally revisited one of his most iconic moments with Joe Rogan. Mark Coleman and Joe Rogan have been friends for a long time, but there is one particular video that resurfaces every so often, which shows the two getting into a playful wrestling match that quickly gets blown out of proportion, resulting in a possibly intoxicated Coleman shoving Rogan hard across the room by his throat.
No headbutt, Coleman.
According to his recollection of events, and in spite of the video footage, he says it was Rogan who started roughhousing an apparently sober Coleman.
You know, Joe Rogan hit me with a nice slick arm drag, and he took my back. Man, all of a sudden, out of instincts, I had no choice but to turn around and face him, and I would say I gave him a gentle push, because I could have gave him 100 times more.
Khabib explains why he doesn't see himself as a coach. Although his fighting days are over, Khabib has not been a stranger to the sport. He is now helping to train the next generation of top Russian fighters and has appeared in the corners of his friends and family over the past 2 years. The Eagle said this in a recent interview when asked if he considers himself a coach. "I wouldn't call myself a coach, since I was never their coach. We all trained together and had a coach. I still train with them a little. I visit the gyms when I have time." Nurmagomedov seems happy in the role he plays now and will be on hand to watch his mentee Makhachev go up against the tough Charles Oliveira at UFC 280. Do you think Islam Makhachev will live up to his senior mentor teachings? Let us know in the comments section below. Helwani shares the moment he knew Dana White had no moral line. There are many moments where the beef between Ariel and Dana has boiled over, but the biggest by far came during the UFC 199 fight week, when the Canadian journalist leaked news of Brock Lesnar's appearance at UFC 200, leading to him getting a ban from UFC events that was later lifted. In a recent episode of the MMA Hour, the multiple-time MMA Journalist of the Year reflected a bit on the way things wound up between him and the UFC boss.
That mad I ever got was when he even referenced my family, because like there's a line, shows that he has no line, but like you don't talk, I would never talk about someone's family. I would never talk about in that way, even referencing them, because there's a lot that I could say, and kind of, turn the tables, but I would just never do that. That's not, there's a line, but just goes to show, among many things, the differences between us. So, that was at that moment, like that's when in my mind I was like, all right, this is different.
There is no denying that Ariel Helwani was a first-hand witness to the sides of Dana that not many people get to see, for better or for worse. The opinions that he and his family still hold towards White are certainly understandable given their history. What's your take on this beef between Dana White and Ariel Helwani? Sterling defends his relationship with Tate and clarifies rape comments. Sterling has a title fight ahead of him at UFC 280, but he found himself in a different kind of fight ahead of the event after meeting with Andrew Tate. While Sterling was not the only fighter to meet with Andrew Tate ahead of UFC 280, his particular meeting caused some unintended blowback. It began when he posted photos with the Tate brothers to Twitter, offering praises to both men. "Top geese never die. Good chopping it up with you fellas," Sterling wrote. Soon the champ's mentions were filled with replies from people criticizing him for being seen with people who have been accused of the things Andrew has been. This resulted in Sterling defending his relationship with Tate, saying that the rumors were proven to be false and that people should not buy into the common narrative. Kevin Holland says he has no interest in training with Khamzat Chimaev. Kevin Holland respects Khamzat as a fighter, but he has no interest in working with him. Holland faced Khamzat in a last-minute shakeup at UFC 279 after the two had a backstage altercation before the intended pre-fight press conference, and things did not go well for Trailblazer. After the fight, Chimaev gave his respect to Holland as a good guy, a tough guy, and even offered to train with him to teach him some things. Holland isn't interested.
I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. I guess because I asked him how many times a week they work wrestling, but hey, I'm just trying to steal the recipe for me and my guys. He shot a fast shot. So, it is what it is.
That's all for today's video. If you want to know the latest UFC news, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, and click the like button so you don't miss any details about the upcoming fights. Thanks for watching. See you soon.